Gentlemen, today, Friday, 22 April 2021, we will to start the international lecture series, study base of academic and best practice, with the theme improving development of human capital, Malaysia and Indonesia inside. With us just now, the speaker from Esa Unggul University, Jakarta, Dr. Muhammad Saleh Hapudin, Master Science, and Miss Nur Saswani Mazlan, PhD, from School of Business and Economic, but no School of Business and Economic. Before that, School of Economic and Business. There is no is School of Business and Economic. The business, to say first, from University Putra Malaysia. Thank you very much for your join the speakers. The itinerary, the first we will to look the ILC official video for the audience know what the ASEAN lecturer community. Okay, now we will to start with the first speaker. Every speaker will be to use 30 minutes for presentation, and the speaker can use English language, Malay language, or Indonesia bahasa, right? Because we are in ASEAN countries, more citizen use Malay, Indonesia, and English too. But don't you use the Thailand language of Vietnam language, because we don't know about this. Therefore, Bapak Dr. Muhammad Saleh Lapudin, Master of Science, you will to share first as the speaker, the first speaker, around 30 minutes. If I look this card, there is 5 minutes more, right?
Oh, sip. Thank
if,
you.
uh, if you play football, you must be to look the yellow or red card, but this only black card. Black card, there is the 5 minutes more you will to finish. uh, right now you can to start, Pak Saleh, silakan.
Mohon izin untuk bisa dibuatkan itu, host.
Yeah, you are now, I think, the co-host, therefore you can to use the
I can.
Zoom by yourself. Bapak mau presentasi sendiri, sharing, atau dibantu yang mahasiswa siapa aja boleh aja.
Presentasi sendiri saja.
Oh, silakan. Untuk peserta partisipan from Malaysia, from Indonesia, untuk kelas saya juga, this is there is my student from my class juga, Puan. Jadi Jakarta student and Malaysia student, and usually so Thai student join too. Welcome you all. Appreciate to you. Ya, sangat jelas screen-nya, Pak. Very clear.
Oke.
Iya. Jelas nih, screen-nya sangat jelas. Suaranya oke.
Oke.
Ya.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Moment. Okay. I think I would like to introduce my name is Muhammad Soleh Hapudin.
The picture more, your picture equal handsome with the really.
Yes. This moment is trouble.
Never mind. No problem. Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to introduce myself. My name is I'm Soleh Hapudin. I lecture at University as Unggul University. In this opportunity, I also explain how to build with karakter di era buka era-era. I want to explain with Indonesian language kondisi existing saat ini bahwa dunia sedang memasuki era buka, ya, di mana kondisi ini tentunya begitu banyak tantangan di mengenai era buka ini, era industri, dan tentunya ciri daripada revolusi industri ini adalah integrated cyber teknologi dan otomatisasi, gitu ya, sehingga ini memerlukan sumber daya manusia yang tangguh, gitu ya, dan juga mendorong dunia pendidikan untuk melakukan perubahan shifting, sehingga perubahan itu harus kita persiapkan, terutama untuk menyiapkan para lulusan perguruan tinggi. Dan tadi sudah saya sampaikan, dunia telah berubah secara dinamis dan eksponensial, sehingga semua mengalami turbulensi yang luar biasa dengan adanya perubahan-perubahan yang volatile, uncertain, complexity, dan ambiguity. Dan tentunya dalam era disruption ini adalah VUCA, ya, dunia telah masuk ini menggambarkan sesuatu yang penuh, di mana ketidakjelasan, arahnya juga tidak jelas, sehingga perubahan yang begitu cepat. Oleh karena itu kita harus respon dengan baik, terutama dalam rangka meningkatkan sumber daya manusia. Ya, revolusi industri ini saat ini sebagaimana disampaikan oleh Marcel M. Lukan, bahwa revolusi industri ini ditandai dengan adanya artificial intelligence. Semua bisa diinterkoneksi dengan internet of things maupun yang lainnya. Dan tentunya ada beberapa aspek yang menjadi catatan penting di Indonesia, bahwa aspek kehidupan tidak terlepas dari penggunaan pemanfaatan teknologi ICT, gitu ya, dan termasuk di dunia pendidikan, gitu, dari manual based jadi electronic based, dan terjadinya shifting mindset, pola pikir, dan juga pola sikap, dan termasuk tindakan masyarakat dari ngobrol biasa melalui sekarang media sosial maupun yang lainnya. Tentunya masyarakat Indonesia is digital immigrant, ya, masyarakat yang masih baru dengan teknologi saat ini. Dunia digital dan revolusi industri terjadi perubahan di Indonesia, terutama dari sisi market, ya, toko-toko konvensional yang sudah mulai tergantikan, terdisrupsi dengan marketplace, dan ini tentunya memerlukan sumber daya yang mumpuni dalam bidang ICT, teknologi, sehingga bisa berdaya saing, unggul di dalam dunia internasional, termasuk di dalam transportasi, gitu ya, sehingga ada perubahan yang cukup signifikan, yang mulai dari Grab, taksi, Uber, dan maupun yang lainnya. Oleh karena itu, peranan perguruan tinggi di era revolusi industri ini harus mengubah perilaku masyarakat dan cara melakukan bisnis maupun yang lainnya, dari mana lingkungan bisnis saat ini mengalami yang namanya VUCA, yang penuh dengan ketidakjelasan dan kompleksitas, dan penuh dengan sesuatu yang tidak diduga. Kebutuhan industri tentunya membutuhkan SDM yang inovatif, ya, dari sisi pembelajaran juga, dan salah satu kuncinya tentunya dalam rangka bisa bersaing dan berkompetisi di era global adalah pembangunan SDM, building resources management. Salah satunya adalah melalui pendidikan, di mana tujuan utama yaitu membentuk karakter dan membangun keberadaban. Pendidikan tidak hanya membuat manusia cerdas secara akademis, namun anggun secara moral. Tiga yang harus dilakukan oleh dunia pendidikan, baik sisi knowledge, skill, maupun attitude. Di mana era pandemi saat ini, knowledge lebih mudah didapat karena resource yang cukup banyak, sehingga kita bisa mengambil beberapa sumber yang bisa kita gunakan sebagai sumber-sumber ilmu pengetahuan. Tentunya skill juga harus penting juga dalam rangka implementasi. Salah satunya harus melalui praktek baik laboratorium maupun industri. Dan ini saya teringat dengan sebuah semboyannya Presiden Indonesia Pak Joko Widodo menuju SDM unggul Indonesia maju, di mana di sini ada beberapa penguatan empowering lembaga pendidikan, lembaga pelatihan didukung untuk melakukan pembenahan secara besar-besaran SDM yang menguasai keterampilan dan menguasai pengetahuan masa kini dan mendatang, di mana pendidikan harus berakar dari budaya bangsa untuk kepentingan nasional, dan SDM juga harus kompetitif dan berkarakter. Tentunya SDM kompetitif dan penguasaan ilmu pengetahuan dan teknologi. Dan tentunya ada key success factor di era disrupsi sekarang ini adalah bagaimana kita bisa melakukan secara continuous improvement, berkembang, berkelanjutan gitu, termasuk ada adaptif dan responsif dan inisiatif, dan memiliki kreativitas, inovatif, dan kolaboratif, sehingga akan memiliki daya saing yang komparatif dan kompetitif tentunya. Dan kerangka-kerangka yang sekarang diusung oleh Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan adalah bagaimana bisa melakukan aktivitas cooperation dan new department, sehingga goal ini baik sisi break practice, global standar, dan link and match bisa tercapai. Salah satunya adalah cooperation, bahwa hal yang perlu diperhatikan dalam menyusun ini adalah pertama cooperation, kerjasama dengan berbagai perguruan tinggi ya, sehingga memiliki kapasitas yang sesuai gitu. Yang kedua adalah activity mahasiswa di luar prodi dengan adanya pembelajaran MBKM gitu ya. Kegiatan mahasiswa di luar prodi diperbolehkan seperti magang, riset, wirausaha maupun yang lainnya, sehingga menambah skill pengetahuan para mahasiswa, dan melanjutkan dengan new departemen prodi baru yang sesuai dengan kebutuhan masyarakat saat ini yang mengarah kepada revolusi industri 4.0. Bagaimana cara kita untuk menghadapi era yang semakin canggih dengan perkembangan teknologi? Ya, kita harus memiliki kemampuan kompleks problem solving, kemampuan untuk menyelesaikan masalah yang kompleks gitu ya, masalah yang sering terjadi ataupun berulang. Yang kedua, untuk menghadapi era disrupsi ini adalah critical thinking, kemampuan berpikir kritis, sehingga memiliki gambaran suatu masalah sehingga bisa menyelesaikan permasalahan yang ada. Tentunya dalam yang berikutnya adalah creativity, yang dibangun adalah bagaimana menciptakan kreativitas kita ya dalam rangka menghadapi era revolusi industri. Selanjutnya adalah people management, kemampuan menggerakkan orang lain ya sehingga bisa berkoordinasi. Dan finally adalah conclusion, bahwa revolusi industri mengintegrasikan antara teknologi cyber dan teknologi otomatisasi. Dalam menghadapi kemajuan revolusi dituntut semua individu harus adaptif terhadap perubahan. Menghadapi era perubahan harus menjadi pembelajar yang lincah, agile learner. Demikian yang bisa saya sampaikan, Prof. Reja.
Ya, luar biasa ini. Human capitalnya smart and short, but
terima kasih.
True. Jadi untuk lebih banyak tahu lagi silakan membaca buku Pak Soleh gitu kan. Jadi ada di flyer. Bisa dibacakan. Okay, thank you very much for your short sharing, but very interesting with the FUCA situation, and then what the futures we can to look what the question for the participation after the second speaker sharing. Therefore, I reserve some question in my email. I will to read after the second speaker sharing. Therefore, Puan silahkan untuk Puan Nur Syarwani Mazlan PhD. You can to share right now is the second speaker. The time you're now, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay, so
Yeah, your sound is very clear.
okay, let me share the screen.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I have 31 slides here, so I hope I can
Okay.
finish within the time period given. Okay, so
Social media sentiments. Wow.
right. So this is my current research actually. So the topic is social media sentiment analysis on gig economy in the Industrial Revolution 4.0. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so these are basically the researchers behind this topic. So basically, this project is actually funded by the Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia.
All
So
right.
they have given us about 18,000 USD to complete the project. And so under this project, I have Fatin Aimina Emma. So she is my MSc students, Master of Science students. And she is doing Master of Science in Economics. And so she is basically doing this project. And I am the lead investigator, so I'm the principal researcher. And I also have two more co-researchers, Professor Dr. Rusmawati Said and also Professor Dr. Rahmita Wirza. So Fatin Aimina Emma is here actually with us in the session. Aimi, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatin Aimi Naima binti Nazmi.
Dong.
I'm a MSc student in economics from University Putra Malaysia. So I'm a graduate research assistant for Dr. Nazmi Mazlan.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
Right. So in this research, basically Aimi is funded by this grant. Hopefully she will be able to finish her study soon. And we have actually published, not journal articles yet, but we have published 2 newspaper articles from this grant. Okay, next. Introduction. So what is gig economy? So I'm sure all of you, maybe you are not used to the term gig economy, but if I mention the word Grab or Panda or the Gojek, right? Maybe you know. So basically, the gig economy is defined as the demand and supply of short-term or task-based working activities that are matched through online labor platforms. And other than the word gig economy, sometimes we use the term platform economy, sharing economy, on-demand economy. So basically, they all mean the same thing. Okay, so these gig economies can be categorized along task-oriented platforms, namely, first one is the cloud work, and second one is the gig work. So cloud work is basically web-based and fully digital form of an on-demand labor where tasks are completed behind a computer anywhere. Whereas the case of gig economy, for example, the Grab, right? So if you order something on Grab, you order food, you submit through an online system, and then the food will be delivered to you offline. So this is what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on the gig work category only. So some background of the study, basically it started like, before we have this gig economy. So back in 1915, we had like, for example, just musicians. So they used to perform and they used to use the term gig. And for example, the Bolden Band back in 1915, so they used the word gig to refer to the performances. And in 1930, we experienced Great Depression. Sorry, Pak Reza, it's quite noisy. Can you?
What?
Yeah, a lot of background noise.
Oh, I look.
Like some participants maybe.
Okay. No. Yeah.
Can I request for participants to mute themselves? Okay.
Yeah. No, all the mute.
Okay, good. So in 1930, we experienced Great Depression. So at that time, many farmers had to sell their lands due to drought and falling prices. And we observed that unemployment increased a lot at that time. And most of them, because they were unemployed, right, they actually migrated. They moved from farm to farm to help harvest. And then in the 1940s, we saw the rise in temporary agencies. And we saw, like, for example, Russ Kelly, this was all in the United States, right? Russ Kelly Office Services began offering typing services. And then we also saw the growth of Manpower Inc. They provided, at that time, they started providing temporary staffing. And then after that, we saw temporary employment agencies became a staple of US economy. And then in the 1990s, we saw how everything started moving to the web. So we started using internet. And for example, in 1996, Craig Newmark started an email newsletter called San Francisco Event. So the list grew beyond local events, including everything from apartments to job openings. And then we saw CraigList.org was born. And then in 1999, Upwork Inc. was created to bring visibility and trust to remote workers, and it gives businesses reliable access to global talent pool. So today it has the largest global freelancing website. And then in the 2000s, we saw people started to develop app for this kind of economy. So we saw Airbnb, for example. Airbnb is a web-based or also app-based application. You know, you can basically rent a room or a house when you go abroad, when you go traveling, you can rent. And by 2018, we could see that Airbnb was worth USD 28 billion. And then in 2008, TaskRabbit was also created as a site for hiring people to run errands and do simple chores. And in 2010, I'm sure all of you are familiar with Uber. Uber was designed to let users request for a ride with just a tap of a button. And by 2015, Uber drivers had accepted 1 billion rides. Okay, so gig economy and social media have actually grown side by side. So after the invention of blogging, social media began to explode in popularity. Sites like MySpace and LinkedIn gained prominence in the early 2000s. And by 2006, Facebook and Twitter both became available to users throughout the world. So these two sites remain some of the most popular social networks on the internet. So today, there's a tremendous variety of social networking sites, and many of them can be linked to allow cross-posting. So what we're doing in our research is basically we are using the data from social media sites to basically look at gig economy. And you can see how social media have actually grown so much. For example, we can see the statistics here. The average daily time that internet users aged 16 to 64 spend on using social media is around 3 hours and 1 minute. And 59.5% internet users aged 16 to 64 that use social media as a means source when researching brands. Okay, so IR 4.0, so we can see that with IR 4.0, the possibilities of billions of people connected by mobile devices with unprecedented processing power, storage capacity, and access to knowledge are limited. So with IR 4.0, we have seen how much the supply side and also the demand side of the gig economy have grown. So for the scope of the study, right, we chose basically the big players in the industry like Foodpanda, Grab, and Airbnb. And then for the sample data, we use social media sites, we scrape the data, and we basically got the comments from the social media users from Twitter, YouTube, and also Reddit about all these three big players in the market. And for the data period, we basically used 15 years from 2006 to 2021. Okay, so this is basically the problem statement. So basically, we looked at 4 main themes. One is the flexibility and freedom, right of workers, global productivity, and who is responsible. And okay, I'm going to go fast because we don't have much time. So problem statement. So you can see that the rapid growth of gig economy has been contributed by factors such as flexibility, independence, and economic benefits. However, there are also some challenges associated with gig economy. For example, safety concerns. So you rent a room or you rent people's house, but you're also concerned about safety. You don't know whether the house is safe. Lack of regulations, uncertainty, unstable stream of income. For example, the Grab driver, they don't have fixed income every month. So it depends on how much rides they can do. Sometimes maybe they're sick, they won't be able to do the service and they won't get income. Unsatisfactory services. This will lead to them the consumers will express their sentiments on the social networking site. So for example, you can see nowadays in Instagram, in Twitter, people just write about anything. So they will write about how they are satisfied or not satisfied about a service. So this is what we want. We go to the social media sites, we get the comments when we analyze. Okay. As for the objective, right? So we are basically trying to understand consumer behavior concerning gig economy services through the analysis of social media comments. We basically want to explore the polarity of the sentiments of online users on social networking sites towards gig economy. For the significance of the study, we wish to provide the groundwork for social media sentiment analysis, and we also want to help in formulating the new policies. We will help the policymakers, businesses, and gig workers in terms of recommendations. And we wish to disseminate the knowledge of potential adverse impact of social media users' sentiments towards activities. Okay, so for the literature review, basically, I'm going to go very fast. So basically, these are the 3 studies that have discussed the main approaches used for the sentiment analysis. So basically, there's lexicon-based and there's also machine learning. So we are basically going to, based on the literature review, the best is to use the combination. So we are going to use the combination of lexicon and machine-based approach in our study. So methodology, so quickly, what is sentiment analysis? So sentiment analysis is basically a statistical examination of the thoughts, views, or even emotions of an entity using unstructured text mining from internet. Okay, so as I explained before, we go to social media sites, we scrape the comments, and we analyze. And we are using 2 different approaches, machine learning and also lexicon-based. And this is what we call hybrid approach. So hybrid approach is basically the combination of machine learning and lexicon-based approaches to address sentiment analysis. So this method usually produces more promising results compared to if you use one approach only. So these are the steps involved. So basically we collected the data, we did the pre-processing. So pre-processing basically involved language detection, language translation, data cleaning, tokenization, stemming, and lemmatization. And then after that, we did the lexicon-based algorithm by using Veda Lexicon Dictionary. We used classification algorithm, and then we basically came out with performance metrics. Okay, so this data collection, basically, we went to Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, and we scraped the data. And we use keywords, for example, Food Panda Malaysia, Grab_my, Airbnb, and Airbnb Malaysia. And total 33,918 data was scraped from these 3 social media sites. Okay, so these are the steps involved, as mentioned before: language detection and translation, data cleaning, tokenization, stemming, and lemmatization. So actually, if you want to know more about the steps, maybe my student Aimi can help explain later in the Q&A session. But basically, we scraped these 33,918, but we did like some data cleaning and filtration, and after that, we only got about 18,548. So data cleaning involved like removing unnecessary words. So we only took like the important words to analyze. Okay, so next is lexicon-based algorithm. So I'm going to skip this. If you want to know more, Aimi can explain after this. Okay, so basically what we want is basically we came up with this performance metrics based on the scores from the data scraping and data analysis. So we will see whether, we will class the comments into with true class and predicted class. And then for the true class, we have positive, negative. We also have negative, positive and negative under predicted class. And we basically classify them into different quadrants. Okay, so results and discussion. So these are the main results. From the collected data within 16 years that we have, we found 19% negative comments, 29% neutral comments, and 52% positive comments regarding gig economy. So this is something good, right? It shows that we have a very promising future for the gig companies to stay in our economy. And overall comments about gig economy show an increase in trend, especially during the pandemic era. So you can imagine how, during the pandemic, COVID-19, we couldn't go out, right? So we were depending on the internet. We also use social media as a tool of communication. So this has actually justified the positive, negative, and neutral sentiments towards gig services in social media. Okay, so these are some of the frequency, some of the words to show positive sentiments about gig economy. For example, thank, good, work, best, look, stay, first, nice. So these are some of the words that they normally used. And then for the negative sentiments, some of the words that they use, for example, cancel, pay, write, give. Okay, some of the words quite bad. Okay, I don't want to say it, but it's bad. Okay. And then based on the metrics evaluation, so we have like light gradient boosted machine LGBM has shown the highest score in terms of accuracy compared to support vector machine SVM and logistic regression algorithms. And the accuracy, FI measure, precision, and recall of logistic regression have shown the lowest values. So overall, we can say that among the approaches that we use, LGBM is the best model. Okay, so for the discussion, right, after analyzing the data, different categories of recommendations have been formulated. Service satisfaction, cultural sensitivity, marketing comments, and socialization tweets. So we can see that these are some of the main ones. And then for the research implications, basically the results are very important. We can say that very important for the businesses and also for the policymakers. For the businesses, gig businesses can improve the management of their company, improve product or service experience, and reduce unnecessary expense. And by incorporating the social media sentiments with the price changes, competitive promotional behavior, and sales data, it can provide meaningful, exact information before taking important strategic decision. And for the policymakers, give more flexibility for the key players in terms of generating and regulating their income and other related matters, development and guidance for the new entrepreneurs in the gig economy, a safer, properly regulated market that offers more stable stream of income and higher or improved quality of products. And the growth of the gig economy leads to new job creation in the market and hence reduce the unemployment rate. So these are some of the things that policymakers can focus on. Okay, so conclusion, right? So in this research, gig economy sentiment analysis structure is presented. So the data were collected from social media and different gig company sites. So the combination of the approaches, lexicon and machine learning based, we showed that we basically got 52% positive comments, which is very good because this shows a promising gig economy in the future. And other than that, we also showed that LGBM is the best approach. And also the sentiment analysis has become very operative for the business owners and policymakers as it can help them by providing a real view of what customers think about the gig economy. And as for the study limitation and recommendation for future study, maybe some of the students here want to do this topic. You can consider this recommendation. So the scope of this study primarily focuses on only 3 key players: Foodpanda, Grab, and Airbnb. So you can include more in the future. Okay, so to be more impactful, and then you can also basically improve the keywords. You can maybe include keywords like Panda Mart, Grab Car, Grab Delivery, Grab Food, etc. And you can also use consider to use multiple lexical dictionary or more powerful dictionary that can handle slang to improve sentiment polarity. Okay, so that is all my lecture or sharing for today.
Oh, very interesting. It is very strict methodology, right?
Yes,
It-
as mentioned before, right, Pak Reza, this project actually is funded by Ministry of Higher Education Malaysia, and we actually received 18,000 US dollars to complete the project. So that's why we actually subscribed to a very expensive software, SaaS. Yes, so we had to pay like maybe about 6,000. So that's about 2,000 USD per year to use this software to run this basically data analysis.
Wow.
Yes. So we will
Yeah.
publish the results soon.
Jakarta people say keren.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Pak Soleh, this the reserve by grant of government is very prestige of who the lecturer get at that. Okay, now usually every speaker sharing before we go to question answer, there is some question in direct to my email. We can to look first for refreshing one song by video. Kang Indah Gumilang will be to share the song by video. Usually relation of time. Sekarang pertanyaan dari Amy kepada Pak Soleh, dia tanya macam ini Pak, di email nih. Era VUCA yang Bapak sampaikan tadi telah berjalan secara eksponensial, seringkali menghadirkan kekhawatiran bagi generasi muda dan lulusan perguruan tinggi. Banyaknya kekhawatiran yang disampaikan oleh para pakar seakan mengancam masa depan anak-anak muda. Apa sebenarnya nasihat Pak Soleh supaya anak-anak mahasiswa sekarang tetap melihat bahwa di balik disrupsi banyak sekali opportunity baru yang mungkin bisa Bapak elaborasikan. Itu pertanyaan nomor satu. Kemudian yang kedua, dia bilang di sini ada beberapa penyebab human capital practitioner, para pelaku di lapangan, itu gagal berkiprah secara maksimal. Salah satu diantaranya karena tidak konsisten atau kurang konsistensi. Nah, anak muda saat ini kan sangat cepat berubah dari satu keinginan kepada keinginan lain. Bagaimana pandangan Bapak terhadap hal ini? Nah, itu dua pertanyaannya pada Pak Soleh. Kemudian untuk Puan Dr. Sarwani, ini pertanyaannya dari Nural. Dia tanya begini, is there a gig economy more opportunity or threat? No, apa dikata? No, while COVID pandemic coming, digital business to grows by exponential. What the university shouldn't must be to anticipation regard our future's career. Macam dia worry ya. Jadi gig economy membuat worry ke membuat opportunity. Okay. The second, someone of impact of gig economy is many company more easy to looking for expert workers. Usually, graduate of university still less experience. What you advise for the student university to create the human capital expertise? Jadi itu pertanyaannya dua sajalah, saya ambil masing-masingnya. Pak Soleh mungkin sudah menangkap masuk pertanyaan dari Aimi tadi ya. Silakan Pak. Masih mute Pak suaranya. Suara Pak Soleh masih mute. Boleh di oke.
Baik, thank you.
Ya.
Tadi sudah dijelaskan bahwa saat ini kita berada di era VUCA, ya, di mana tadi sudah saya sampaikan saya paparkan bahwa
bertanya bagaimana era VUCA yang Bapak sampaikan secara eksponensial begitu cepat, seakan-akan mengancam untuk masa depan anak muda, atau sebenarnya banyak peluang baru yang harus mereka lihat itu. Bagaimana itu, Pak?
betul, ya. Memang perubahan tadi yang tidak bisa terkendalikan dan tentunya secara eksponensial dengan cepat. Hal ini harus diantisipasi tentunya dengan salah satunya adalah dengan kita memiliki skill yang baru tentunya. Skill dan agility, kelincahan kita dalam mengadaptasi perubahan-perubahan transformasi yang ada saat ini tentunya diimbangi dengan soft skill dan hard skill yang bisa berkompetisi dan berkompetisi dan elaborasi di perkembangan teknologi ICT ini tentunya. Salah satunya kita harus adaptif terhadap perubahan gitu, Prof. Adaptif kuncinya adalah adaptif perubahan, dan tentunya di tantangan itu ada banyak peluang yang kita manfaatkan. Saya pernah mungkin ada yang saya ambil dari kata-katanya note-nya siapa tuh Charles Darwin, bahwa orang yang bisa survive itu adalah bukan orang yang cerdas dan pintar, tetapi orang yang adaptif terhadap perubahan, gitu.
Ya, betul, Pak.
Jadi,
adaptif.
Iya, orang yang adaptif terhadap perubahan tentunya dengan ditambah dengan kelincahan, agility dan soft skill dan hard skill yang harus kita miliki sehingga kita bisa bersaing dan bertanding di era global.
Bagus. Nomor 2, Pak.
Nomor 2.
Dia tanya bahwa banyak human capital practitioner itu tidak berhasil memaksimalkan diri, diantaranya karena mudah berubah atau tidak konsisten untuk meloncat ke sana. Apa saran Bapak untuk anak muda ke depan?
Nah, tadi sudah, sekarang ini kan sifatnya adalah pregil ya, mudah rapuh gitu ya, sehingga perubahan-perubahan itu sangat cepat. Tentunya tadi saya mengharapkan adalah bagaimana kemampuan kita adaptasi terhadap perubahan itu, ya, baik dari sisi kemampuan akademis maupun non akademis gitu ya, sehingga secara shifting paradigma mindsetnya harus diubah gitu, bahwa saat ini kita penuh dengan ketidakpastian seperti pandemi COVID saat ini. Pandemi COVID ini salah satunya ada penuh ketidakpastian kapan akan berakhir, kan gitu ya. Tentunya kita harus mampu melakukan adaptasi terhadap perubahan dengan cepat gitu. Nah, hal-hal inilah mau masuk ke new normal segala macamnya, ini adalah perlu adanya perubahan terhadap perubahan yang terjadi saat ini gitu. Sehingga salah satunya adalah VUCA ini pandemi gitu. Sehingga pandemi ini harus menjadi pelajaran bagi kita untuk bisa melakukan adaptasi terhadap perubahan-perubahan yang terjadi saat ini. Manajemen change lah, manajemen perubahan yang harus kita lakukan. Perubahan terhadap diri kita maupun perubahan terhadap yang lainnya. Aktivitas-aktivitas yang kita lakukan. Seperti itu, Prof.
Ya, jadi integriti dan kemampuan untuk defend kepada tantangan mesti di-upgrade ya, Pak ya.
Ya.
Baik, thank you very much for your smart answer. Now, next to Dr. Sawani, what do you want to share about 2 questions?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. So the first question.
Very worried or very opportunities?
Opportunities or threats, right? I would definitely say like gig economy is a great opportunity because it gives flexibility. So because it relates back to the comment by Dr. Soleh. It's all about adaptation. The world is changing from time to time, and this gig economy has actually grown in line with the growth of internet, social media, and all. So, for example, those who are not able to find jobs first, the graduates, the students who just graduated. They are out of the universities and they are basically looking for jobs, but they're not able to find jobs. And there's this gig economy, which gives them flexibility to just enter and exit anytime they want. For example, oh yeah, I decide to be a Grab driver. You know, I can work anytime I want and I can not work anytime I want. So I think it's a great opportunity. And I don't see any threats, to be honest. But I wouldn't say threats, but more challenges, as mentioned before during my sharing session earlier. There are some challenges, for example, safety concerns. For example, the Airbnb, right? They provide their rooms or houses to people, to tourists. Like, for example, I have this spare room in my house and I want to make extra money. So I decide to advertise my extra room. Anyone, any tourist can come. But there's that safety issue. Like, they come to my house. How do I make sure that they are not going to do anything bad in my house? So there's this safety issue. And there's also lack of regulation. So as in, if something bad happens, how do we enforce the rule? So there's no clear guidelines, so there's no clear rule yet. And maybe there's from the perspective of unstable stream of income. So the income is quite unstable. So as in the Grab drivers, right? They basically when they are well or when they have the time, they will be able to accept rides. But it doesn't guarantee the income, right? So, like for us, for example, we have this employment, full-time employment. So every month we will receive our salary. So our income is pretty stable. But for those who are in the gig economy, this is one of the issues. They might have unstable income. And also from the perspective of like unsatisfactory services. So sometimes, because there are most companies, they are pretty new in the market, right? They want to offer this flexibility of, offering their services via mobile application. So they probably have problems in providing, good service or something like that. So there are still challenges, but I'm sure challenges basically happen in every every economy. Like, it's not something that we can't overcome. So this is one of the things that we want, the challenges we want to tackle in this project. So basically, we want to understand how people actually think about gig economy. And for example, from the negative sentiments that we got from the project, from the analysis, we are able to provide recommendations on how to improve the gig economy moving forward. So if you ask me whether opportunities or threat, definitely more opportunities, but I don't see any threats, but more to challenges that can definitely overcome as we move forward. Yes. And then for the second question, right? I think it's related to human capital expertise, isn't it?
Yes.
Can you repeat the question, Fariza?
He asked you. Now many company is more easy to looking for expert worker, but the usually graduate is less experienced. What you can do the challenges about it?
Okay, so the graduates are less experienced, but related to gig economy, actually, most of the services offered are not really based on any specific expertise, I would say. But in general, if you're asking about in the job market where normally employers are looking for specific skills, right? I think it's kind of hard to get the specific skills from the fresh graduates. So normally in Malaysia, in the industry, in the financial industry, for example, most companies have like trainee programs. So the graduates, they have to go through trainee programs in order for them to be offered, guaranteed or full-time jobs. So I think this is quite good because in the trainee programs, they are actually rotating the graduates or the employers, the new workers, into different departments for them to experience, different skills, to learn new skills, so from this, then they will be able to learn more. And then once they are successfully graduated from the trainee program, then they can specialize into whatever they're good at. So I think there should be a realization with companies, industries, and also maybe the government can also help to enforce this, where companies should provide trainee programs for the fresh grads, so that they can learn more and more on specific skills for them to be able to join the companies permanently after the trainee programs. Yeah.
Okay, I think your answer is true. The graduate must be to by themselves to upskilling the another's soft skill and what the trend of the industrial have they can to follow, right? Okay. Now, because the closing remark from the speaker, we will look the last another of the competent in your knowledge. We are must be to have the integrated and values and then morality, right? Therefore, to the future, the human capital more and more important about the integrated and values of humanity. Right. Please, the closing remark, Pak Soleh, ada kata penutup 1-2 menit, sila.
Baik, terima kasih. Pada closing statement ini, saya menggarisbawahi bahwa dalam menghadapi era VUCA tentunya kita harus yang pertama harus adaptif perubahan, yang kedua harus menyelaraskan kompetensi dengan perkembangan zaman saat ini. Itu, Prof.
Silakan Bapak share email address supaya nanti Puan Syarwani bisa berkomunikasi. Puan, your closing statement, please.
All right, so thank you very much for the invitation, Pak Reza. So basically, how I met Pak Reza, we met online. I haven't met him physically last week because Pak Reza wanted to introduce some of the students to come to UPM for a short, like 2 weeks program. And basically, he has a very good relationship with UPM, and I'm thankful for the invitation, and I am happy to share anytime. So basically, this is one of the research, but of course I have also other research with my other students, so I'm happy to share. Other than that, I would also like to invite the students from Indonesia specifically, because we have students from Indonesia mostly today, to come to Malaysia. So if you are interested to basically study in UPM, if not for full-time program, you can come for semester exchange program. So I am the mobility coordinator of the School of Business and Economics. So you can email me. You can basically visit our international office website, UPM. I will provide the web link in the chat box, so you can see what are the opportunities available in UPM. So if you are interested, you can definitely apply for the program. So we have summer school, we have semester exchange programs, we have internships, we have research attachment. So I welcome you to come to UPM. Okay, so thank you very much for today.
Wow. Jadi Pak Soleh, Puan Sarwani ini beliau direktur atau kepala bagian